What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Khord here. I've been requested to kind of go over a basic build for Wizards in Inferno mode, and I am more than happy to do that, and I'm glad that you guys have been requesting me to do things. Let's go ahead and check out some of the gear that I'm currently wearing. It is a mix of Act 1 to Act 3 level gear, and some of it is yet even below that. Some of the items that are best in slot for this build are actually below level 40. So just to kind of start it off, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. If there is something that can have attack speed percentage, it needs to have it. If you have something that has movement speed, you need to get it. Movement speed up to 25%. 25% is the cap for movement speed. Once you hit 25% movement speed and you stack attack speed on everything, you get yourself a nice 900 to 1100 DPS one-hander. You are going to be tearing things up. So let's go ahead and take a look. Right now, my weapon, which is an Act 3 drop, badass weapon, have to say. I was incredibly happy that I found it. The increased attack speed by 25%, the vitality, great. Let's go ahead and check out the boots. These are some legendaries that you should keep your eyes on if you are a wizard. Personally, I would rather have intelligence, vitality, but all that I could really afford at that point was these, and they were cheap. I don't have a lot of time to react on the auction house since things sell like hotcakes generally if they're cheap. As for the offhand, so the offhand's a pretty simple thing. Max that damage out as far as you can. Make sure it's got intelligence and vitality on it, and that's pretty much the extent of what you're looking for on an offhand. Anything beyond that is just bonuses and what you prefer. We've got the Hammer Jammers here, level 41 legendary. These are really good because they have movement speed on them. You're going to sacrifice some stats because of them, but in the end, having the movement speed is more important anyways. As you can tell, I mean, it's not really hurting me all that bad by having these on. I'm still running 40,000 damage, so. Both of my rings are attack speed as well. This one's just raw damage if you can find something that's similar to this that you can find on the auction house or manage to pick up. Over here we've got vitality and intelligence. That's technically what I prefer over the actual damage on the ring. I would rather this have 71 intel with 50 vitality, attack speed in the socket instead of that damage. As for the belt is actually fairly important because that percentage to life is really important. You want high raw stats for intelligence and vitality, and you want percentage to life. Whatever else you get on there, just bonuses that you're happy to have. Personally, I will start looking for things that either have dexterity, int, vit, percentage to life with all resistances or additional armor, just because I want to be able to take a hit or two from something. Alright, gloves, pretty simple. I have seen gloves with like attack speed, crit percentage, crit damage. If you can find something like that where it's like intel, vit, attack speed, crit damage, and crit percentage, you are a baller. Like that, those are the gloves that you want to live in. Try to keep all of these vitality and intelligence stats above 70 if you can help it. It'll help a lot in the long run. We've got some shoulders here. Shoulders are once again one of those slots that you have some leniency on. You're going to be looking ideally for resist all with, as you can see right here, my shoulders are 87 int with 107 vitality. Preferably instead of the melee attackers take 1539, I would rather it have 55 to all resistances or something along those lines. The helmet has to have a socket. And you would think, I actually ran a Talrasha helmet for a long time because I was like, oh, this thing is awesome, 140 vid, 146 int with magic find. Unfortunately, you need the socket for the percentage life. That's incredibly important. It's free health that you can put on your character, and it makes up for some of the other placement of your gear, such as the Hammer Jammers that aren't very high in stats, and like my amulet, which has no vitality right now at all. Ideally, you want to find one that's vit, intel, and attack speed. I've seen some with sockets and resist alls and all those things, but I think people are on to us as wizards. Beware, attack speed percentage stuff, very expensive right now. I think between myself and some of the people that are live streaming that are also using this kind of strategy, people have figured out that they can sell it for a lot, and it's unfortunate for us. The Tal Rasha chess piece, important piece. It's got attack speed on it. This piece isn't very good, as you can see. I still had to pay 1,000,000 gold for it on the auction house, even though it wasn't that great. Um, Ideally, you want to try to get something that has vitality and intel on it, but unfortunately, from what I've seen on the US servers, all of the ones that were like 50-50 vit int were running for 15 million or more, and I don't know who has the gold to pay for that kind of thing, but people who need the chest certainly don't generally. Just people being greedy and thinking they have more than they have. So anyways, that's kind of a brief rundown of the actual gear that I'm wearing. Now, a lot of this is just a mix of, Inferno gear. Some of it is even like Hell, Nightmare, the legendaries that are like 39, that's nightmarish to Hell mode. It's not great stuff, but it, for some reason, makes us pretty damn overpowered. If we go into details here, as you can see, attacks per second, 3.2. That is really, really good. If you're over 3 attacks a second, that is awesome. You are a baller once again. In order to get to Act 1 Butcher and kill him efficiently, you only probably need 2 attacks a second. Like that's not very hard to attain. You get a couple of pieces with attack speed, you're throwing out some decent damage at that point. You can get him down before he enrages. I can get him down with 2 people in, 1 person being dead at 3.2, and still get the timed achievement at this point. So 3.2, super overkill. Aim for two attacks a second for Act 1 for farming. You'll feel a lot better about it. Let's take a look at some of the other things I've got here. As you can see, all of my resistances are super low. I don't care at all about them. Basically, I rely fully on mage armor, and when my force armor doesn't work, I simply get more vitality and make it work. And that's about the extent of what a wizard does. So let's go ahead and scroll down. As you can see, I don't run very much magic find, don't run very much gold find. I basically rely entirely on the Nephilim buff to put me up towards 80%, since I can stack that up in Act 3 and Act 4 now. And the movement speed, I'm missing about 3%, and that's coming from a ring called Unity. If you guys can find a ring called Unity for a cheap price, you better buy it before I do, because it is incredibly good for us, and I believe Blizzard mentioned that they are going to be buffing legendaries. So try to get a hold of these things before the buff, because people are going to think they're worth even more than they're worth right now. So, that being said, 19% total life bonus. I'd like to get that to about 25% eventually, and I believe that's just gems, getting a better belt, and a couple of other little easy things. I believe that amulets can have life percentage on them as well, so I might be looking for that. Outside of that, guys, I mean, attack speed and movement speed, 100% it. If you can move around super fast, people aren't going to catch you. If you cast super fast, as you can see, I can get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks off before an elite mortars at me. I move out of the way, throw a bunch of attacks, move out of the way, throw a bunch of attacks. It's a really simple concept. And as of right now, while I am doing the farming, might as well go in here. This is kind of my setup for skills, since we're going over everything I use. I'm using the wormhole now, just because some of these things start really getting up on me. I just teleport as far away as I possibly can, and then drop a Hydra behind me, start throwing piercing orbs, and have them walk towards me. I'm still running glass cannon, still running galvanizing wards, still running illusionist. None of that has changed. The only thing that really changed is the fact that I'm using wormhole now, and I'm using diamond skin crystal shell. And that's simply because there's some portions of Act 3 and Act 4 where I have to take a hit, and I know it. The monsters move too fast, they're teleporters, something like that. And I see them teleport on me, I know I have to pop this ability and absorb it. Act 1, Act 2, not as necessary. If you do want to run it, that's perfectly fine as well. I personally ran mirror images. I don't really know which would be better in the act, but I did get through doing that. Anyways, guys, that's kind of a brief rundown of what I'm using, what my gear looks like, and what's going on with Wizards. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Don't forget that, here, I'll go ahead and go in here for you guys. That is my hashtag right there. If you guys have any questions, don't don't even hesitate. Just message me in game. It's not a big deal to me. Still have a little bit of room in my friends list. I can bring you in, talk to you, whatever you need done. And that is the video for today. And I hope I see you guys at the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button. Tell your friends about this. And I will see you guys at the next video. Khord out.